what we've done, and it's important to emphasize that this is not a tax on all companies in Gibraltar. In fact, it doesn't impact on the very large majority of companies. My calculation is that it probably impacts on around, at most, 12 to 15 companies. They are in-scope multinational companies that have a revenue turnover of at least £750 million. And the whole point is this: if I hadn't introduced the measures that I'm planning to introduce, which I announced in Parliament, effective from the 1st of January, according to the way that the OECD are implementing the so-called Pillar 2 rules, which envisage the implementation of a minimum global rate of 15% tax, if I hadn't done the top-up tax, another jurisdiction, the jurisdiction of the parent company within the in-scope companies that we've identified should be liable to the top-up tax, those jurisdictions would have levied the tax on Gibraltar profits that I would have therefore not been able to do, even though they are revenues that are attributable to Gibraltar subsidiary companies. It's tax neutral to the group. In other words, if they don't pay the tax in Gibraltar, the difference between our headline rate of tax of 12.5% and the 15 global minimum rate of tax, which the OECD are saying has to be applied, if we didn't do it, another jurisdiction would do it. I've asked the tax authority in Gibraltar to also engage with the OECD itself, the international organization that will have the oversight responsibility for this policy. We've consulted them, and certainly they've been very complimentary of the fact that we're taking the steps that we're taking. So it's a win-win for Gibraltar. It's a win-win in terms of the tax revenues that we will be raising, and it's a win-win reputationally.
How much do you expect to raise then?
You
gave a minimum figure in Parliament, didn't you?
Yes. The minimum figure that I expect to raise, Jonathan, is 6.5 million. I am cautious by nature. I would rather not give you a number, but let me say that I think that is a very conservative figure in line with my own approach to the things that I do. The easiest thing for any government is to apply a blanket tax provision that hits, people hardest, and certainly the wrong people. That is not my approach to my ministerial responsibility. This is targeted. I'm looking at big businesses. I'm looking at the policy imperative of companies paying the correct amount of tax in Gibraltar. One of my priorities over the next 3 months is to do what I've been doing over the last 3 months since we were elected into office, which is continue to work and engage with the FATF with a view to getting Gibraltar off the grey list. I'm passionate not just about the need to grow the economy, but I'm passionate about creating employment, educational and training opportunities for young people. And it's absolutely vital for our economic stability that we grow the economy in a way that involves the future leaders of Gibraltar.